All right, today we're going to dive into a pretty fascinating career hack. I'm talking about how you can unlock those top-tier international remote jobs right from your home country. And we're going to do it using a really strategic and maybe even a little unexpected gateway.
So, let's start with a quick question. Have you ever dreamt of landing a really high-paying tech job, maybe with a company based in, Australia? The kind of role that just launches your career and seriously boosts your income.
Okay, now what if I told you that you could get that exact job without ever having to pack a single bag, without filling out a single visa application, or leaving your home in a country like, say, Pakistan? I know, it sounds a little too good to be true, right? But believe it or not, this is a reality for a whole bunch of tech professionals right now.
So what's the secret? What's the key that unlocks all this? Well, the unexpected connection here, it's Malaysia. Yep, Malaysia has become this incredibly powerful gateway, linking talented pros all over Asia with some of the biggest global companies.
And here's why. Malaysia has basically turned itself into a regional recruitment hub. Think of it as this central meeting point where international employers flock to find top-tier talent. They've got the whole system down, the infrastructure, the expertise to make cross-border hiring feel totally seamless.
And look, these agencies do way more than just find you a job listing. They handle all the messy, complex stuff. We're talking sourcing the actual roles, managing payroll across borders, making sure all the international contracts are legal and compliant. Basically, they take away all the administrative headaches so you can just focus on the job.
And of course, they're on the hunt for very specific, very valuable skills. For example, right now, Australian companies are desperate for folks with expertise in automation tools like Selenium and Playwright, and core languages like C#, Java, and TypeScript. Seriously, if you've got these skills, you are already in a fantastic position.
Okay, so you're probably thinking, how does this all actually work in practice? It's a great question. Let's break down the blueprint for this whole remote hiring model.
When you put the new and old models side by side, the difference is just massive. This remote model gives companies a huge global talent pool and cuts their costs. But for you, the big win is flexibility. It's a total game changer compared to the old way, being stuck with only local options and having to show up to an office. The agency is the magic ingredient that makes this all possible by dealing with all that tricky cross-border stuff.
All right, I know what you're thinking. This is probably the #1 question on your mind right now. Is this legal? Is this all above board? And what's the deal with visas and taxes?
And the answer, thankfully, is super simple. Yes, it is 100% legal. And get this, because you're working remotely from your own country, you don't need a work visa for the place the company is based, like Australia. No visa headaches.
So how is this possible? It's all thanks to something called an employer of record, or EOR. Here's how it works in a nutshell. The Malaysian agency becomes your official employer on paper. They handle your contract, your paycheck, all the legal stuff. So even though you're doing your day-to-day work for that cool Australian company, it's the Malaysian agency that makes sure you get paid on time, correctly, and completely legally. It's kind of a genius setup, actually.
Okay, let's say you're sold. You've got the skills, you understand the model. Now what? Where do you actually start looking for these jobs? Let's get into your resource toolkit.
So where should you start your search? Well, you can't go wrong with big international players like Randstad. Then you've got IT specialists like SVA Recruitment. And of course, you should check out dedicated remote job sites like Remote Rocket Ship. Seriously, this list right here is your golden ticket to finding these kinds of opportunities.
All right, let's boil all this information down into a super clear, actionable plan. There are really just 3 key steps you need to take to get yourself on the path to success. First up, get your professional profiles looking sharp on those job portals, and make sure you're really highlighting the skills that scream remote ready. Second, don't just sit back and wait for them to find you. Be proactive. Reach out directly to those recruiters we just talked about. And third, and this is so important, when you get that offer, you need to go over that contract with a fine-tooth comb. Make sure everything is crystal clear. Your residency, your compensation, all the legal details.
So there you have it. The path is laid out, it's totally legal, it's totally practical, and it plugs you directly into the global tech market from wherever you are right now. Your global career is literally waiting for you. So the only real question is, what's your first step going to be?